Hello, this is Jen with Turquoise Wine Bar, and today we are so excited to have Janell Dusi of J. Dusi Vineyards out of Paso Robles here with us. And if you've been to Turquoise, you know the Dusi wines are some of our best sellers, some of our absolute favorites. We've had the privilege of doing events with Janelle in the past, and so super excited to have her here today so that she can tell you all about her wines, about the amazing region she is from, and why you should get out there to check it out. So, Janelle, welcome.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This is fun. I love coming and doing events with you guys when I'm in the Arizona market. And I was just saying, it's nice to get pulled away from harvest right now. So I get to come inside the AC for to do this podcast, and so I'm excited.
That's great. And I so appreciate you taking a moment out of harvest. Tell everybody that's there working hard that we appreciate them and will
Absolutely.
soon be benefiting from all of their hard work.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of fun. It's always a good energy in Paso right now because the harvest is coming in. So it's everything we've worked so hard all year to grow. And now it's time. So when is it ripe? It's coming in. Is it coming in light or heavy? And what are the grapes looking like? And we're making next year's wine. So it's fun.
So cool. Now, if anybody's listening to this later, it is the middle of September right now. So harvest. So tell us a little bit about Paso Robles, about what makes it cool and unique and different and everything you're working on right now.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Templeton, which is the border town to Paso Robles, and I was born and raised here. Went off to college and realized that I wanted to come back and make wine here, and be involved in the grape growing family business. And I've traveled a lot around the world, and it's like Paso is just special. There's just something about here that's awesome, and I can be anywhere in the world, but be excited to come back home, even though home to me is a lot of work because we're a farming family and that's what we're expected by my parents is extra set of hands was the us as kids. But Paso is just a great area. It's grown in the last 20 years pretty significantly, but I think in a really good way. We have great restaurants. The wine scene is becoming bigger and better every year. And I had a friend in from Boston last week in our distributor, and he was like, Paso, I think, actually has better food than Boston right now. And that's a huge statement to say, like, just the quality of the food and the passion and the localness of the food. The food scene's great. I mean, I think Paso even has better restaurants than San Luis, our neighboring, big city to us. So it's been kind of fun to see the culinary world of Paso grow with the wine industry and kind of support it in a way. And food and wine go together, and any given night in Paso downtown you'll see different winemakers all hanging out, especially during the fall when harvest is going on. It's all like, what'd you bring in today? Is it looking light or heavy, or what about this rain that might be coming up? And it's all just chatter, and we're all friends. And so that's what's great about Paso is that it everyone is friendly and fun and talking to each other for advice. And at the end of the day, we all like food and wine together, so we all want to help each other. And you can't drink your own wine every night, so you're drinking your friends' wines for sure.
That's awesome. I mean, I feel like wine is such a community, right? Whether it's the growing and the harvesting and the creating, or on our side, just the sharing it with people and drinking it. Wine is all about connection and community. So fun to
Absolutely.
hear those stories at the beginning stages of the process.
Yeah, yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So for those people that maybe aren't as familiar with wines from your region, what is it about Paso that just makes it so different, so special? I love wines from Paso. I would put them up against any region right now, and
Yeah.
they're fantastic. But sometimes when I'm drinking a wine from Paso, I'm like, oh, it tastes like Paso. Like, tell us a little bit about that. Tell us about the region.
I think it has a lot to do with our topography and where we are in our, latitude, where we are and in our nice little area is just 20 minutes away from the ocean on the west side of Paso. So there's the ocean, a mountain range, and then Paso sits in this not quite a valley, but and it's just kind of we get those coastal influences a little bit just the right time. So Paso has a really dry, hot summer, but we cool down every afternoon because of the breezes that come from the ocean. Even though we're only 20 miles away, or it's actually less than 20 minutes, maybe like 15 miles, it cooled Paso down really quickly. And especially in the area where our Dusi's Inn is at, is called the Templeton Gap. And that's the first area in Paso to cool down. But what I love about not just the climate, the topography, the soil that's here, we're really rich in limestones, kind of white, rocky, calcareous soils. And that's what makes a great wine is starting with great grapes and starting with great grapes grown in great soils. And that is kind of the root of everything, right? But Paso is kind of funny how it's what it's known for. My family was some of the first people to plant vineyards here in Paso, and that was Old Vine Zinfandel, which is old now. So in the early 1920s, we planted Zinfandel, and for a good 40 years, that's all that was planted here in Paso was Zin. And so I think Paso Robles is actually known for three separate kind of wine varietals, as Zinfandel laid the foundation of the roots for Paso Robles and showed us what it could become as a grape growing region. Um, the most widely planted varietal, though, is Cabernet Sauvignon. So we have massive amounts of cab planted, but the one that's getting all the accolades and all the awards and all the notoriety is the Rhone varietal, so Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre. And so it's like we're a three-headed monster known for three things, but we do them all really well, and let's celebrate that, right? I mean, what other wine region can say that they're really known for three, that three genres kind of wine that do really well. So it's a fun place to be. And I think also another note about Paso is that, winemakers from Napa are coming down here looking at places, and we were kind of considered the Wild West because it was like, oh, I can, blend Cabernet and Zinfandel together. Like, yeah, you can do that here because our land was cheaper than Napa and other areas. And you can't do those things in France because it's against the law, right? You can't mix those varietals. Napa was so expensive to do everything like that. And here it was like, well, yeah, that Tempranillo, let's blend it with some Syrah. Why not? And so it's been fun. And you see these kind of cool eclectic blends coming out of Paso for those reasons, which is another fun perk of Paso.
I totally agree. One of our absolute best-selling wines we have ever had at Turquoise is your Model M Red Blend.
Oh, yes. Awesome.
So that one, that is a staple. Anytime we pull it back on our menu and start selling it by the glass, which we do every year, our customers go crazy. I always have a hard time keeping it in stock. But
Great.
yeah, that one is so fun. And so just for the people that are our Model M diehards, will you tell them a little bit about it? Because everybody always asks me what the name is.
Yes. Well, I particularly love the new vintage of the Model M, the 2023 that's out right now. And this is a blend that became a blend under J. Dusi because my distributors, people like you guys, Turquoise Wine Bar, that were wine shops, restaurants that wanted a very great, solid red wine that you could do by the glass or an every night drinking wine under 25, under $20, something like that. And so I had the Pinot Grigio, which has been going like gangbusters. It's going crazy and people love it. And they're like, we really love a red wine to match your white so we can get it out there. So I said, okay, but I don't want to sell that and pour it in the tasting room because I have all these, vineyard designates we pour at the tasting room. So I developed this wine called Model M and screw cap. It's the only red I do in screw cap, so it's nice and easy for people doing it by the glass. And trying to find a name. And these days, finding a name for a wine that's not used by any other winery is challenging. So I talked to my brother and my fam. I was like, okay, we need to name this blend. And it was like, it's hearty, it's juicy, it's fruit forward, but it's your every night drinking wine. It's that price point that fits, and a lot of different palates. A lot of people different like it. And my brother said, what about naming it after our tractor that was used by four generations in the family? All four generations used this tractor, and it was, my brother says, like, it was the workhorse of the family. It was there for you day in, day out, every day of the week. And he said, it's kind of like the Model M, it's your Tuesday spaghetti wine, it's your Thursday pizza wine. It's there to get you through the work week. So that's why we call it Model M. It's the name of an Alice Chalmers tractor that it's still sitting in our field. It's not quite working anymore, but it's a track tractor with those tracks instead of wheels. So I think it's been kind of fun to name it Model M.
I love that. It's a great story. Also, I love it because we've been there. We've been to your
Yeah,
vineyard
yes.
tractor and we were all excited when we saw it. And so it's just that is fun. It's great to have those great like daily drinking wines that are just they go with everything. They're so easy. So
And you can count on it, you know it's going to be good. And I do think that it can kind of attract to a different couple different palate types too, which is nice.
it does, and it's super versatile.
Hmm.
But yeah, that one is great. So that is definitely a crowd favorite. Of course, we also have your Zinfandel and some of your paper
Okay, cool.
some of your paper street wines, your Pinot Grigio, which you didn't even talk about in the beginning, but I think it's spectacular.
That's why we made the Model M, is because the Pinot Grigio was, in all the states I do, it's kind of like the number one seller around here in this county. And so it's just easy. You don't have to overthink it. It's screw cap, it's crisp, it's fresh, it's bright.
Yeah,
And yeah, and coming from Paso, which is crazy.
exactly. Well, and in Arizona, it's hot here. You need your crisp, white, refreshing wines to get us through some of this heat. So that one's perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Um, so tell us a little bit. So talked about Model M. What are you like, what is your biggest struggles right now? I know this is crazy with climate and weather and the price of everything. So for you as a winemaker, what are the biggest hurdles?
Um, well, imminently, tomorrow is the rain that's coming for tomorrow night. That's a hurdle for the vineyard, and hopefully it doesn't rain too much because it can kind of deteriorate the grapes and cause mildew and mold issues. So we're hoping for that doesn't happen. Fortunately, I'm about 50% of the way in with the grapes, so I have a lot off the vine that's in the cellar fermenting. Um, Otherwise than that, I mean, on the tasting room side of things, you can never judge when it's going to be slow or busy, and so we do reservations. We accept all walk-ins all the time too. So I think staffing for that has been hard, and the dips, if it's too hot, people aren't out, things like that. Um, as far as the wine, I think it also is my customers are always like, all right, this is great, but what's next? What's new? What's happening? What's the new jam? And I'm like, oh gosh, okay. I did a new vintage, it's a different wine because it's a different vintage, but trying to be on the cutting edge and finding bringing in new blends or a new varietal and keep people's interest peaked, which is fun. We're coming out with a brand new 100% Cabernet Franc. So Cab Franc, which is, dipping my toes in another world, and my brother's growing it. So I've kind of dabbled with it a little bit, but this is our first 100% that'll be in this wine club shipment. And it's fun to do. Just gotta it takes a lot more work to kind of keep playing with other things. So that's always challenging, finding something new and um, things like that, or new varietals like Claret Blanche is a white that we're doing now. That's kind of fun and new. And we own a lot of our own vineyards. We have 600 acres here in Paso that we own as a family. So my nephew, who farms half of them, was just like, all right, we got 5 acres to plant. What do you want? Name it now. And so that's always it's fun and hard because you got to figure out what you want to kind of expand with, which is fun and hard. Yeah.
That is exciting. And so you've got like the whole family operation going. You've got a whole bunch of people working.
Yep, well, it's a one big happy family. We're turning 100 years old this year, so we've had vines in the ground for 100 years now. Planted in 1925 was our first vineyards by my great grandparents, and um, generations have been working it and living on the properties. We still live on all of them and farm them and own them, and so everything but the Pinot Grigio that I make comes from our family-owned vineyards.
Okay. And
Yeah.
it Dante that was the founder?
His father, Sylvester, planted the first vineyards in 1925. And then Dante is my grandfather. And then little Dante is my 22-year-old nephew that farms with my dad.
Do you actually call him Little Dante?
No,
Okay.
no, but we just talked about Grandpa Dante. So he does it. And it's wild that he's 22 and all he thinks about and cares about and loves is farming with my dad, which is
Oh.
amazing. My brothers and I have two older brothers, and we're both like, "Thank you." We're so happy that someone in the family and that young that's his passion, and he loves it, and he loves it like even too much. I'm like, okay, to go, I don't know, go to a game or something, but so it's good. So him and my dad do the farming, and my brother too. And then I started the winery. My sister-in-law works in here with me, and yeah, we all live near each other. Sunday dinners, we eat a couple times a week together, and yeah, we're still not tired of each other, which is crazy.
That's wonderful. Do you see a lot of that out there in Paso, like the family run vineyards?
You know, there's a lot that are like maybe two generations or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're on the fifth right now, and so actively there's three generations out all the time working together every day. And I think that's a little stand out amongst everybody else. But there's quite a few smaller production, smaller wineries that have, you know, father and son, something like that. So there's a lot of that here too.
Yeah, that's cool. I think when you look at it from a wine bar or bottle shop
Yeah.
perspective, I think sometimes it's easy for people to forget the fact that what they're buying is coming from a farm, that it is a farmer, it is a wine,
Yeah.
it's a person or a group of people or a family producing something. So we're always trying to remind people of where that comes from, that it's not just another product on a shelf, but it's truly like the labor of love that
Yeah.
somebody is making.
Absolutely. And that's why I say this time right now of harvest is so special is because these are the roots we put in the ground, you know, whether they're 10-year-old vineyard or a 100-year-old vineyard. And it takes a lot and you know, to guide them and grow that all year long. And this is the time it's coming off the vine. So choosing the right day to pick it off and what you do in the cellar to make the wine is always fun and unique to each winemaker. But I try to do it as natural as possible and I don't add any commercial yeast. So it's all native fermentations. And I do that because I want to show what my family worked so hard doing all year. And I don't want to bring these grapes in the winery and add this and add that and cover this up. You know, it's like I want to be as pure as possible. So you see what happened in the Dusi Vineyard in 2025 and taste. Was there too much rain? Was it too dry? Was, you know, did an early storm come and, you know, wreck the vines? I don't know. Things you can tell by vintage years, which is super cool.
That's wonderful. Yeah, we are always looking for wines that aren't augmented in that way.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, let us taste the grape, let us taste the terroir, give
Yes.
us the
Yeah.
real story, because it's so fantastic how it is.
Absolutely, because you can make a wine by recipe and make it taste the same every year, no matter what. But the fun in it is seeing how does it change? Why does it change? And maybe you like one or the other, but it's always interesting.
Yes. So you guys are in the middle of harvest.
Hmm.
When it's done, how do you celebrate?
Oh gosh. Well, my mom and dad just booked a vacation today. They're gonna go on vacation. Everyone's going somewhere. So they kind of it helps them get through the days, the long days and nights because they're like, all right, I have something to look forward to. My brother and sister also, my niece, their daughter is studying in Florence. They're gonna go see her. Everyone's leaving, and then we do a big harvest dinner with we have about 10 full-time guys in the vineyard. And so we do a big harvest dinner at the end where you know, everyone gets a big steak because, you know, why not? And we do that with everybody, which is fun.
Awesome. I love that. That just feels like it would be the most amazing time to celebrate the end of something so
Yeah,
spectacular as creating your next vintages.
exactly. Yeah. I didn't sleep for a while. That's always good too. Celebrate with some sleep. We
That's
do, we harvest at night now because it's just too hot during the day and it's it's odd because you start at midnight and you finish around 7, 8 a.m. Depends. And the sun comes up, you're like, oh, you kind of forget about the 7, 8 hours you were just on a tractor working because it kind of like goes by like a bad nightmare. Like, you know, like you just go and it's dark the whole time, it just goes by. So luckily I don't have to do the night harvesting every day. I did it Sunday night and yeah. Then I have to come work at the winery all day. So it's challenging, but it's good.
Yeah, well, that is a lot for sure. I mean, farming is not an easy task.
No, not at all.
Okay, big picture, you're in this, you're obviously still very young. What are you like, where are you hoping the Ducey Vineyard goes? What are you hoping to see in the
I'm
future?
hoping I'm hoping this niece that's studying in Florence wants to come back and be a winemaker and take over. You know, my one nephew is taking over the farm with my dad, which is amazing. I hope to we just planted some Pinot Grigio in one of our vineyards so that eventually in about 3 years, everything will be from family-owned vineyards. Because right now, Pinot Grigio is the only one that I buy grapes for. And that would be nice. So we can be fully buying from our own vineyards. To grow in a steady, good, healthy way. A couple years ago, I researched trying to, build another facility where I can keep everything on site and make it all flow. And I was like, I'm really happy where I'm at. I'm really comfortable that I can still do the winemaking. I can still visit with customers on the patio. I can still go visit you guys in Arizona and do in-person wine tasting. And I'm at a really good size that I'd love to do that. So I hope just to keep doing those things, managing it well, and having the change of things, which is nice.
That's good. And we appreciate it that you can still come visit.
Yeah, yeah, it's fun. We love Paso. I love to get out of here once in a while too.
Yeah, right. So for us, we have a lot of customers who are talking about trying to come visit wine regions. Of course, Paso is one that is so easy because there's so much to do. There's so many places to go, food and wine and great places to stay. What time of year would you recommend if somebody was asking for advice on when to come out? What would you say?
Hmm. Well, like I keep talking about the energy here during harvest, September and October are beautiful months. They're warm still, but there's like an energy going on. I guess, there's grapes all around. You'll see grapes down the highway going everywhere, and it's kind of fun. And a lot of times you'll see more of the winemakers on site during that time because they're busy. It's all hands on deck. That's great. If you want to have the tasting room staff all to yourself and really talk to them and get nerdy about everything, January is great because it's pretty slow around here. And we're not that cold during the day, so that's always fun. Come in July, we have the Mid-State Fair going on, so there's concerts at night, and
Fun.
our summer can be, yeah, maybe if you go out of Arizona and leave so many people come and visit and they have to say they're from Arizona, and it's like 102 outside. They want to taste outside. I'm like, really? They're like, oh, please, this is great compared to Arizona. So, even if our hottest summer days are still cooler than you guys. So it's always a good time to come.
That sounds great. Well, we just added you to our winery partners list.
I know, we're excited. We're happy to
That
be a little collaboration.
absolutely. So we're encouraging everybody to come see you if they're in Paso. If they're in our wine club, you're offering them a little deal to come out, get a 2-for-1 tasting. So we'll
Absolutely.
absolutely be sending people your way. And then, of course, when all of the crazy harvest season is over, come back and see us.
Okay. Yes, definitely. I think I'll be there in the early spring. So I'll be in touch with you guys. But yeah, 2-for-1 tastings, and then come enjoy the wines on the patio overlooking the vineyard. We're here 7 days a week, and yeah, just for you guys, we get the special 2-for-1 tastings.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to send everybody your way. And then as soon as we have some free time, we're going to get back out there again
I
soon.
know. Yeah, you brought the whole gang last time. You guys,
I know.
yeah, fun.
Yes. So we will do that. So thank you so much, Janelle. I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know your team is probably just like looking through the window saying, "Where are you? We need your help out here in the fields."
Yeah, because we have to clean up time. That's why.
Oh, perfect. So we should keep talking for a while.
Right, yeah. All good. Yeah. Perfect. Well, it's hope to see everybody soon.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye.